welcome back to the Players Lounge. You know, we're doing a little something different every single time we get on here. We're still at the Graduate, but
yes, sir.
We have a special guest here. Ryan, can you please introduce yourself?
How y'all want this, man?
You know it's relaxed. It's just it's the boys hanging out.
You know what I mean?
Just
okay,
let the people know. Let the people know.
I'm the Tennessee mutt. That's what I am. Man. Raised, you know what I mean? Born in Memphis, bred in Chattanooga, man, and raised in Nashville. So you get a whole mixture. You know what I mean? Right here in one pot, man. You know, representation of, I would like to say, a VFL. Try to rep it to the fullest.
Yes, sir.
Think about, you know, the standard that's set. Try to carry that out, not only in basketball, but overall as far as the entire university goes, man. And we wild, we crazy, we loyal, we love hard, we play hard, we work hard, all that wrapped in one. So a great representation, man, not only of the university, but of the state too, man. I'm Ron Slack. What's happening?
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Great introduction.
Definitely. Yeah, we got a legend here on the pod, man. And we still got our two great guys right here.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So we're going to get right into it. Ron, we're just going to get with you. You just tell the people a little bit about yourself and how, you know, you are a VFL.
All right, man. I first, well, like I said, man, I started out in born in Memphis, mom and pops, you know what I mean, played football, basketball, and one in West Tennessee, one in East Tennessee. They met up at Tennessee State University. So I was a product of that era. Big John Merritt, you know what I mean, coaching the lights. It was of Richard Dent, you know what I mean, Tall Jones, the list goes on and on. My pops was in the backfield, part of a historic backfield as far as a running back, running around at 6'5", 255.
Dang.
That was a different guy back then. Yeah, he was a different monster back there. I had billboards up and everything. See Ron run. My mom was doing the same thing in Chattanooga with volleyball and things of that nature. Came up to TSU, finished up her school, and I was made, you know what I mean, and grew up as a TSU baby. So up here at Tennessee State, getting all of that, the historic, the HBCU love, all of that. Also, as much as I hate, they say I hate, but I love to watch Vandy grow. You know what I mean? I used to sneak in their gym, watch them when they was, you know, coming up, early 90s, you know what I mean, late 80s playing, Charles Davis, all these guys, all these legends, so forth and so on. And then got my feet planted, you know, playing basketball. I started probably when I was about 8 years old, you know what I mean, and got all the way up to when I got to high school, started at Pearl Cone High School. We had a nice mix of players. We were really good in football and basketball. Only public school to go back-to-back and state championships in football. So football was in my soul because of my pops, you know what I mean? But being around basketball all the time, Anthony Mason, Carlos Rogers, Monty Wilson, the list goes on and on. Carolyn Aldridge as far as the women's go. Yeah. So I was really in tune with both the men's game and the women's game. So moving on up, freshman, had a solid, you know what I mean, solid little introduction. And sophomore year, went to ABCD camp. I didn't know what was going on as far as basketball outside of Tennessee. We weren't like y'all have social media. Know. All I knew was Memphis. Memphis was the truth, you know what I mean? They had Penny, you know what I mean, all these cats down there, you know what I mean? So that was our barometer. That's how we measured ourselves with Memphis. And then we had guys coming along like Ron Mercer, Dante Jones. The list goes on and on. Had our own guys. So once I went to ABCD camp, you know what I mean, I was like, man, it's a little different. People hit the head well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my first introduction to that was against Donnell Harvey. He was the number one guy in our class at that time. Went on to play at Florida, do some great things, but that was my matchup. And man, I first come out just when I knew I arrived a little bit. Come out, cross them, boom, pull up at the free throw line, bottoms.
Oh yeah, now you feeling good too. You coming out the door, you feeling good.
Everybody going off. I'm like, okay. By the time I turn around, they done outletted him. He down there on the other end, windmill. Boom! I said, oh. They was like, no, man, you got to get back. So they get to him again. We have a nice little back and forth, but coming back, man, that kind of put my name on the map. Yeah. Going into my junior year, then I started honestly thinking about college. You know what I mean? I was just hype with the crowd. You know what I mean? The love and energy, fun, love and energy that I played with. So I was on that point. Then I got in touch with Vincent Yarbrough. Vincent Yarbrough was in Cleveland, Tennessee. He was #1 in our class in the South in his entire class. So he went to Tennessee. But Tennessee started to get on the radar because of some of my partners that played football. John Henderson was #1 in football in the country at DN and tight end, and then also top 10 in basketball at our school. So that kind of got my eyes on what was going on in Tennessee. He was being recruited by them, went up to a couple of games. Then the following year, Vincent went up. Tony Harris was there. C.J. Black was there. Isaiah Victor. The list went on and on. We was deep with just the team that was in Tennessee. We probably had 13 of the 15 guys from the state.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it meant something different to be a volunteer. So I followed suit. My senior year, I went to Oak Hill Academy. We went 31-0, won the national championship with the great Steve Smith, legendary coach. Changed my life. Hated it going up there at first. Like this is some foolishness. Yeah. You know what I mean? In Tennessee, man, if you get Mr. Basketball, you different.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got runner-up my junior year to Vincent Yarbrough. So he was a senior. I lost to him. I'm like, senior year is mine. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So they talked me into going to Oak Hill, man. So I didn't play here my senior year. Played there my senior year. It was the best thing I could have ever done. Had me ready for college when I walked in. And, man, the rest was history as far as UT goes.
Yeah, no. That actually brings me to another good question. When did y'all start playing basketball? Like, when did you start, like actually getting into basketball and hooping?
Like for real getting into basketball?
Yeah, like for real.
Well, see, a lot like you, I grew up in a football family. You know, dad played quarterback at Alabama. Grandfather played at Alabama. So, like football. And so I love football. I always grew up with it. So basketball wasn't really my sport until sophomore year of high school.
Dang.
So I was like, I thought I was going to college for football. I thought I was going to go do this. And then I kept growing a little bit and was like, maybe this ain't for me.
Yeah, he started dunking easy and stuff, bro. He like, you know what, let me just stick to hooping.
Yeah.
I was the same way, man. Like that's what to that football part, I thought that helped my mentality. Because I'm going to be honest, coming into my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I was probably 6'4", probably about 185.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Soaking wet. Yeah. But getting out there on the football field, we had something called, it's known as the Oklahoma drill. It's been outlawed now, supposedly. Yeah. But we call it the Malibu. You know what I mean? Because we had a club here, a teen night club called the Malibu. And if you went to the Malibu, you guaranteed to get into a fight. Yeah. So we called the Oklahoma drill the Malibu. Yeah. So you get head up with the next guy, coach said, hut, and you go head up. You got to tackle him or run him over, one of the two. And man, honestly, when I first got in that, I told coach, I said, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest. It's my coach. He been coaching me since I was 8. I've been playing football a long time, but I was quarterback. So quarterbacks, we ain't never had to do this drill. At this time, I done transitioned to wide receiver and tight end. I'm like, okay. Hey, coach, man, I'm telling him on the way to practice. And my grandmama said, man, I can't do that. You feel? I said, my grandmama said, I can't do that mellow. I said, oh, yeah? Okay, yeah, don't even worry about it then. We ain't going to do it. First time we get there, first thing you do, slay. I just told you my grandmama said, you know what I mean? I'm like, she's going to be mad at you, you know what I mean? But, man, dude, that changed my mindset, my mentality. I was already wild and ready to run through a wall anyway, but to go in there and start hitting the weights like that, it changed, man. Because I took that same mindset, get out there on the basketball court, and boy, it was on.
Yeah,
it was on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When did you start?
3 years old. 3 years old. I was at Upper Stars playing with the 5-year-olds, giving them buckets, just
giving them buckets.
You know. But other than that, I just started to get older. I started getting into all kinds of sports: basketball, baseball, and football. But you know,
lit up on the football field.
Nah, I was really nice. I was really nice. I was a slot.
Oh yeah.
I was a slot.
See?
I was nice. But then I just kept moving around in high school, so I'm just gonna stick to basketball. And that's really the best option for me. But looking back on it, as I moved, I wish I still played football throughout high school. Because I feel like I was skinny in high school. It would have got me. It would have got me big. I would have been lifting with the football guys, and not the basketball guys. And they in there every single day, throughout any time of the year. So that's the only thing I would change probably in high school. Just sticking with football throughout the whole entire time.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't starting that young. I mean, I always loved basketball because my dad played. He went all the way to the D League, so he was going overseas, and I was
shout out to Asheville Altitude, baby.
Yeah,
Altitude.
exactly. Yeah. He was hooping. He was going overseas, doing different things. So I was always in basketball, but I never really like took it serious until probably in 7th or 8th grade. That's when I really started taking it serious. Before then, I was all football and track, like just running, just doing whatever my friends was doing at the time. Whenever my friends was like, yo, we gonna do this, we all doing it, like no matter what. But football was fun, man. I loved football because like I'm
nothing like it.
It's nothing like it, bro. I'm a competitor, and my mom put me in football to make sure that I was tough. Like she didn't want me to be didn't want me to be soft. So I'm like, you gonna be in football whether you like it or not. I'm like, hey, I have no problem with it. So I was a linebacker. I was all defense. All defense. I said, do not put me on the other side of that ball, bro. I'm not trying to get hit. I'm trying to hit people, bro. Like, don't put me on the other side of the ball.
Nah, Shaq, for real though, you could probably still play safety.
Bro, I feel like I could, bro. I feel like I could.
The instinct serious.
Yeah.
There's a hot take out right now.
What?
Oh, we do need to talk
I'm hot about this. I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah.
What was it?
It's a lot of basketball guys feel like they can go and play football and have the same impact, and in football feel like they can come and play basketball.
It's between Austin Rivers and what's the guy? Something Jones.
Yeah.
For the Packers. They were arguing.
Gilbert Arenas and Ocho Cinco and
Austin Rivers said you could take
Shannon
30
Sharp.
guys from the NBA and put them in the NFL, and they would merge perfectly. And he said you couldn't take 5 football players and they would score in basketball.
I mean, the only thing I gotta say about that is obviously I'm gonna be biased.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be biased for the basketball guys, but I think like basketball is like one, like as far as athletes, like it is like basketball guys. Like, you gotta be athletically gifted in order to be in that league, bro. Like you gotta be athletically, and the same thing for football.
Yeah.
But like for a quarterback, you gotta be skilled. Like a lot of other stuff, you gotta be skilled. But I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like with football guys going into basketball with the trying to dribble and trying to shoot,
such a skill sport,
bro.
man.
It's such a skill. But it's like it's a skill sport at every position.
At every position.
Like it's not like you can hide. Like I think I can somebody can hide as a safety or hide as like a middle linebacker or even be on the line. You can't hide as there's no small forward, no center. Like it ain't no hiding. You gonna get exposed.
you gotta play both ends.
You gotta play both ends.
Like one,
You gotta
if you
play both ends.
on the defense, we gonna go at you. You gonna foul. You gonna foul. You gonna have 5 fouls. You gonna get fouled out.
Exactly.
Then if you're on offense, you can't shoot.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna guard you. We playing
guard
5-on-4. That's all we gonna do.
Yeah,
we gonna play 5-on-4.
Yeah.
I love the hot take.
I do
it is
too.
good.
I do too.
Nick
But I'm
Saban
biased.
said something. He said something very, like, right on point about a football player has instincts that they've had since they started playing.
Yeah.
And same with a basketball player.
Yeah.
And same with baseball.
Right.
Everyone has the same instincts for their sport that they've had all their life.
Yeah.
And being able to have those instincts and just keep it going and stick with it is just tough to have it pick it up from another sport.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
It's stupid tough. Like, this is the thing, man. I feel it's disrespectful for either to say that they could do either.
Yeah.
When you talking about the professional level, because for one, when you talking about football, dog, it may be a couple. I mean, a handful over the years that can jump out there right then and there and go play a different professional sport.
Yeah.
Do you know how disrespectful you got to be? Listen, this is what I'm saying. Like, I used to come back and train during the off season. I used to go back up there. My brother went to UT as well, played football. So, and I had good relationships with the strength and conditioning. So when I come back, after hooping or something, I would go train with the football team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When they doing the drills, they in the shoot, D-line and all of that. You know what I mean? And it is different. Yeah. It's different mechanics. Your body got to move different, all of that. All of that's fine until you get out there in the game and play. That's different. Just like them, they can't take no professional athlete been playing 4-5 years in the NFL and say, you know what, let's pluck them from here and go put them on the basketball court.
Right.
Man, Lock the door on him. Give me the ball. And if anybody else shoot, we're fighting.
Right.
It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. It's me and him. First of all, man, they got to realize the size. I don't think they realize the size.
Yeah,
They
they
look at the bulk and everything. Man, you got 6'4", 6'5" running around handling the rock.
Yeah.
This ain't, you a 5'11", 6'1" corner. Maybe a 6'2" linebacker. Man, you can't deal with this, man. So I think it's totally disrespectful, man, for both to think that either one of them can play a professional sport. It's only been a couple that did it on a high level. Bo Jackson, Dion, like, dog, that's some different kind of coordination, man. That don't just work.
Yeah, that's facts.
Not in pro sports. Now, like you said, groomed to do that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And what the funny thing about it is, I seen who is Robert RG3, him posting clips of guys in high school. Man, we just got finished having a whole discussion. Everybody played in high school.
Everybody played high school.
I got my rings over here. I got back-to-back state championships. The only school ever to do that. Come on, like anybody can do it in high school. We talking about past college, professional. I'm eating bread and meat.
Right.
You're not gonna come close to me. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, man. They crazy.
High school. High school is high school.
Yeah, come on, man. Like even when you start talking about getting to college, do you know how difficult it is? We had a dude, man. Shout out to him, my guy, CJ Payton. So John Henderson, he was a guy that could try to do it. Ronald Curry did it. Julius Peppers did it. CJ Payton tried to do it.
Yeah. Man,
CJ was a hell of an athlete. Playing wide receiver for the Vols. When the season was over, he came down there with us. Dog, you done already missed 6 months.
Yeah.
You about to jump right in and SEC play, and he did a good job in practice once he got acclimated, probably about 2 weeks before the season ended.
Right.
But you think you're going to get acclimated to get out here to get in the game? You can barely hang in practice, and that ain't no knock to you.
Right.
Man, you can't get down here and do this, man. Like, I'm going to look at, man. No, man. I don't know what kind of competitive spirit they think going on with basketball, man, but they got the game twisted. Yeah. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. Football, we'll drag y'all. You hear me? What the hell is wrong with y'all?
That's funny, bro.
So, Ryan, just tell us about how you got into the SEC broadcasting and just how that all really came about as one.
Man, honestly, man, it's probably a lot of hands in it that I had no idea that was in it, man. But I know a couple in particular. I started with doing radio after I retired. Went back to school at UT. Had to go, man, first of all, man, if you go get your degree, go get your degree. I know a lot of people say you can always go back and go get it. Man, I left school, I had 15 hours remaining. I came back, man, I had like 53.
Hey.
They telling me the curriculum changed. I'm saying, hey man, listen, don't fault me for trying to go and get better in my craft.
Right.
You know what I mean? Man, I had to come back, take a whole year, knock it out, a year in the summer, man. So I knocked it all out. But during the process, I went on a media run talking about how UT gave back to the athletes, giving them the opportunity to come back and finish school and get a degree, get it paid for, this, that, and the other. And my first time doing it, I was on 99.1 up there with Heather Harrington and Tyler Ivins. We did a show talking about that whole process. And after I got off, we did like 40 minutes. She was like, man, you might need to think about doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man, I'm trying to coach. I ain't trying to do it. I'm trying to stay close to the game, you know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm retired yet. I just ain't got a contract. I can't just push me out the game, you know what I mean? So I did that, man, for about 2-3 years. And the coaching, the doors weren't opening like I thought they should have been. And then COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And I started my Boom Boom Room podcast, got that off the ground and running, and then went over to a small AM station in Franklin that probably got about a 2-block radius. But I had got my own endorsements, had paid for my own time, 5 to 6 every Friday, drive time out. But it was only the practice of my craft, you know what I mean? Yeah. And really kind of in the shadows.
Right.
So when the opportunity presents itself, I know how to go in there and lead a show, talk the right way, you know what I mean? Be articulate about how I'm trying to get it across, but I still being myself. Mm-hmm. That happened. Craig Pinkerton, who was our SID, who was like Tom Skovac for you guys. Now Alex. So Craig Pinkerton was our SID. He moved on from Tennessee, I think, after my senior year. Tom was being groomed to take over that spot. He moved on and went to the SEC, and is SID for the SEC right now. So all of this is taking place. I'm working on my radio. I done got my foot in the door down here in Nashville on 104.5 The Zone. I'm booming now. We go to SEC football media days. And when I walk in, Craig was like, man, where's Slay at? And one of my co-hosts, Babs, Dawn Davenport, she was like, he on the way in here. He's like, get him over here. I need to talk to him. So I walk in. I'm like, Pink, what's up, Pink? You know what I mean? Hit him up. What's going on? He's like, hey, man, it may be an opportunity for you. I got to, try to put you in front of some people, man. But we got some people ahead of the SEC network that's going to be here. I want to introduce you. I'm like, oh, let's do it, Pink. I'm cool with that. So the time go by, I'm trying to act cool, but really on the inside, I'm like, man, this will be a cool little major move real quick, fresh in the game, So he don't come, so by about lunchtime, I'm hitting Pink up. I'm like, Pink, man, ain't nobody came up here. He was like, don't worry about it, I'm gonna get on it. So I end up going to meet with the guy Pete Waters, man. Pete Waters came through. We talked for a minute. Said he had heard the work I've been doing. Got some good feedback. Tested the waters with some people, and a lot of them had some good feedback about me. And he was like, man, we wanna. What you think about coming in for an audition? I was like, man, listen, you tell me when and well, and I'll be there. You know what I mean? So months passed though. And I'm like, man, there ain't nobody hit me. So I think this was July. We get about to October. Season finna crank up. I'm like, oh man, ain't nobody showing me nothing. So about a week later, he hit me up and was like, man, what you think about flying up to Charlotte, doing an audition? One day we'll fly you right back home. I'm like, man, let's do it. So I go in there. Me and Peter Burns. We had kind of like a script. We recorded it like it was a show. And at the end of it, first of all, this is my thing too. If you always you, when the lights and cameras cut on, you ain't never got to act like you somebody else. And when they cut off, you can still continue to be you. I done made it like that, and that's what worked for me. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed to be able to say that. So we did it in one take. And at the end, the producer walked in and was like, man, you want to redo that? I was like, it felt good to me. He said, we ought to bank that. I said, you know what? Run it. Give me on back. And then, man, didn't nothing ever come of it, man. Like, it was October. I'm waiting in November, December get around in the non-conference schedule. I'm looking at all these people. I'm like, oh man, they got me up there. The dude said I did good, man. And you know what? I ain't even tripping on it no more. I'm gone. I'm off that. You know what I mean? So January 1st, about the second roll around, they hit me and was like, man, we like what you did. We want to bring you on. So I ain't got no agent or nothing. You know what I mean? It's all self-negotiation. You know what I mean? So they hit me. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to act cool. Like, yeah, man, let me get back with you. You know? I ain't going like, hell yeah. I told him all they had to do was give me a chance. You know? So I called him back. I had to force myself to wait like an hour. I hit him back. It was like, man, I think, man, let's try it out. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, hell yeah, I love that. You know what I mean? But so we set it up, man, and it was cool, man. It went like I thought it would. It was a little shaky at first, but I remember the first episode, first segment we did. I hit my brother after the segment. Was like, hey man, dog, what you think about it, man? I don't feel like me. He was like, dog, they brought you in there to be you.
Right.
Like, quit talking them numbers. Talk like you talk. I said, you know what? Watch this. Boom. And it's been on there since. So I know it's some other people that play behind the scenes of, like, cause I'm sure they do a check, like with different coaches, different universities and things of that nature to see if you're in good standing and things of that nature. So watch it. That's why it's important to watch what you put on social media as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because all that scrubs and it can tangle some things up. But that's how I jumped in it, man. All off the radio first.
Dang, no, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's really cool.
That's a journey, man.
And y'all help me. y'all keep on doing what y'all doing. I can keep on talking the way I'm talking.
All day. We gonna keep on, man. We gonna keep on. Mm-hmm. Nah, that's funny, man. That's good.
Next thing we gonna talk about is NBA, and I just want to let want y'all to tell me who's your real MVP
for this year.
For this year. It already came out.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it.
I'm not either.
I'm not, but I want to see what you guys are saying.
Who do you think?
My thing is, man, before we even get to it, if this is the case, the way the MVP is going, Shaq should have won multiple MVPs.
Yeah.
Jordan should have won multiple MVPs. LeBron should have kept winning MVPs. Right. Kobe should have kept winning MVPs. Like, if you talking about just pure dominance, these guys, regardless of what somebody else is doing, like, it's right down. You talking about pure dominance, the most valuable player in the league. So, I love what Joker doing, but man, I thought it should have been either Anthony Edwards or SGA, man. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like, Anthony Edwards and them was in first in the West.
Yeah.
For pretty much the whole year, till a couple of injuries, and this was guys being banged up, and then with SGA and them doing finishing.
Yeah.
Like, and then the thing is, man, these dudes being efficient.
Yeah.
Like that, man. That's tough, man. Night in and night out to do that. And I understand what Joker's doing. That ain't not what Joker doing, but
right.
If you can give it to Nash and them along the way, Dirk for having one great year, like, come on, man. Yeah. I'm off that.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing.
I will say I agree. Like, growing up, having 3 MVPs was always like a huge honor. And the fact that like they've given Jokic 3 and 4 years seems a little watered down. Yeah. I know what he's doing is great, but the fact LeBron only got 4?
Yeah.
And so Jokic at 3.
That is crazy to think about. Joker almost has the same amount of MVPs as LeBron. Does he have more than? How much did Kobe have? Doesn't Kobe have like 1 or 2? Like, he has.
I think Kobe got 1.
Yeah, he has 1.
Wow.
So he has more MVPs than Kobe. That's crazy to think about, bro. I mean, I think it's just like, for me, it comes down to like he's consistently doing what he's doing, which are great. Like, it's great, but like. One, I feel like winning has to be the most important thing. In my opinion, I think winning has to be the most important thing. Unless you are having like a season that is like just never been done. The Russell Westbrook season, like where he where he was averaging a triple double, and it was like, okay, he's carrying his team to the playoffs. Yeah. Like that's an exception. But I feel like if it's that close between him, Joker, Luka, SGA, and even Jalen Brunson was in there. Like, I'm like, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say SGA. But I think that's just because of 1, how young he's doing it. 2, the fact that they're number 1 and they were not supposed to be number 1. Like they were not supposed to be number 1. Them or the Timberwolves were not supposed to be number 1. So I'm like, bro, you winning and you averaging 30. You getting like 4 or 5 or 6 assists. You getting 4 or 5, bro. I'm like, man. He deserved that one. I think SGA deserved that one. It's like if that's the case, Joker's gonna win it every year because he's consistently gonna do this.
Yeah. We know what he's gonna do.
We know what he's
gonna get from Joker.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I was a little bit upset about it just because it's like now you're gonna have to put Joker in front of a lot of these legends who should have more MVPs. But it's like, hey, I guess this is how the game works, man. That's how the game works. Yeah. Who do you think?
I gotta go SGA.
SGA.
I gotta go SGA.
Yeah.
I saw something that said if he had 10 nationally broadcasted games this year, he would have been an MVP.
That's an important part too. National broadcast games.
Who's not gonna put the world champs on? On national TV.
Yeah.
But I feel like this next coming year, he will be on national broadcast TV, and he will definitely be another MVP candidate for sure.
Okay, here's a better question. Who do you think is gonna be MVP next year? That's the question.
You know,
I have a feeling who you gonna say.
Listen, I feel like I want SGA.
Yeah.
But I feel like they will give it to
Ant.
Right. I want Ant too.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're gonna give it to Luka.
I can see that 100%.
I just feel like they're gonna give it to Luka.
Yeah,
I thought they wanted to give it to him this year.
I thought they were gonna give it to him this year.
I did too.
I think
it's his time. I'm not saying he's not MVP ready.
Right,
no, he's an MVP
what if
caliber
next year
guy.
the Spurs are the 2 seed in the West?
Ooh, and Victor?
You giving it to him in year 2?
Nah, I can't give it to him year 2.
I'm not giving
it to him year 2.
Not year 2. He would have to have some numbers that were like insane.
Yeah,
bro.
he had
numbers were crazy
numbers.
this year.
They were, but they were like last.
Yep.
They were like last, and it's like, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like winning is a big part, but bro, I feel like to me, I feel like Luka's gonna be up there, but I think Ant's gonna get it or SGA gonna get it. Because I think their team is gonna be like just as good as it. Their team this year is gonna be just as good as it is next year.
I'm just throwing out hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna give it to Ant.
what's y'all draft predictions?
Ooh.
And where we want to see DK at? And where do we want to see DK
let's get down to the
Let's get that at. Where we want to see DK
Where do we
at?
want to see DK
And what we think about the lottery?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Are y'all asking me? What?
Yeah, it's just a general question.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Say it again. My bad.
Where we want to see DK going? I saw one projection had him in Memphis.
Memphis.
I did see
And
that.
that would be cool to have him
Still
in the
in
same
Tennessee.
state.
Yeah.
Still have him in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um,
I was talking to my dad. We was watching OKC yesterday. I was talking to my dad about it, and he felt like OKC would be a good fit for DK. He feels like if they have another guy like DK who's experienced, can shoot, and is a good scorer, like it's gonna bring OKC, because the OKC doesn't need a young guy, and they have a lottery pick.
Yeah.
So it's like you bring in a guy like DK who got experience and he can shoot.
Yeah.
It's gonna open up the floor for SGA and J-Dub to do what they do. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
They got Gordon Hayward on the team.
Yeah.
Not mind you.
Yeah.
DK is
a younger
version,
Yeah.
and just with more to him.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wherever he went, I like to see him go somewhere where it's predicated on ball movement and body movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think with OKC, that's a good spot because SGA, as dominant as he is, he's not necessarily dominant with the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's similar to like how Dallas is. Like that's a little different right there. That's gonna be tough to play with. I thought Memphis was a good one. Memphis is a good one though, man. That would be cool for him to be in state.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see how Ja comes back though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could be one of those situations where Ja just like, man, forget everybody. Everybody get out the way. You know what I mean? Fall in line where you fall in line. You know,
Right.
Yeah, like, and then you want somebody where you can go, man. They're not battling for the spotlight of the face of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I think Ja gonna be on a mission to try to get that, get back what he lost to SGA and Anthony Edwards and things of that nature. So hopefully, I would like the Spurs too.
I was about to say I saw a projection on that. I saw a projection on the Spurs.
That'll be pretty dope. You know what I mean? There's a certain style that you got to play with. You gonna get shots. You know what I'm saying? And you got an unselfish superstar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be cool.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be good.
I can't wait for
It's gonna be good.
I can't wait for the draft.